Hello Australia, thanks to Scoot Airlines and a Porto Chicken, we bring you another episode of The Couch, 562 to be exact. Today we are talking about the Over the Fence movie festival that's coming up, or it's actually been, but I'll tell you more about that with Greg Coffey. He's the guy who runs it all. Cameron Lynch will be here. We'll be talking entertainment with Cameron, won't we?
Yes, we will.
Can't wait. You give me a little bit of a tip what's coming up?
Oh, just a tip. Margot Robbie may have chosen the wrong career, but stay tuned for that.
Thank you. We've got Chelsea Gibson opening the show today. We're going to be talking about July, about the eye treatment that's coming up and the fundraiser that's coming up as well. Dry July as well. Give up alcohol for cancer, funding, research and all that sort of thing. We'll be talking to the guy who runs that as well. We've got a big show today. Hope you can stick around. Chris Ilsley from 6PR. Much more. This is episode 562. Thanks to Scoot.
It's showtime on the couch. It's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can see it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with Fred and the best in town. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch. Oh.
Big show today. I hope you can stick around. You caught me unaware looking at my new jacket that got adjusted for me. As you can see, it doesn't fit anymore, but that's okay. Chelsea Gibson is opening the show today. She's doing a Bette Midler song. Here she is. Oh, thank you. It's The Couch.
You've got to give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. Got to laugh a little and cry a little until the clouds roll by a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. As long as there's the two of us, we've got the world and all its charms. When the world is through with us, we've got each other's arms. You've got to win a little and lose a little, yes, and always have to lose a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. That's the glory of
It's always fantastic to have you on the show, Chelsea. What have you been up to since we last saw you?
I've just recorded my CD with my most requested songs at my shows, so that's very exciting. And it's available on my website, which is chelseaj.com.
Thank you very much. And now, you also recorded a beautiful song. You sang it in the studio of the ABC. Tell us a story about this one, because you're going to be singing this one at the end of the show.
Doing a tribute today for Ian Cameron, who's just passed away recently, and it was his favourite song, which I did on his show, Non je ne regrette rien.
Look forward to hearing you sing that. I'm sure it'll be beautiful. Thank you very much for being on the show today. If people want to buy your album or want to find out more about you, where do they go?
Thank you so much for having me, and my website is www.chelseaj.com.
And I don't know how you changed your clothes so quick, but you know what? I wish I could change mine because Look Smart in Mirrabooka did my jacket and I can't even tighten it anymore. But how you just went like that and changed your outfit, yeah, there, she's running out the door. Thank you, Chelsea. We'll see you at the end. She was amazing. How she got changed in that 2 seconds of time. Amazing. Chelsea, say no more. Say no more, please. Somebody that's never going to not say no more is our very own Cameron Lynch, who's back talking showbiz and entertainment.
Yes, never saying no more.
Do you remember there was that group that used to spin around when they dance and their outfits used to change? They were on Dancing with No Stars.
The Liberal Party?
I'll give you that one. And can I just say congratulations to all our Prime Ministers.
Yes.
God knows we've had enough of them in the last 6 years, and literally we've had enough of them.
Much like democracy, Chelsea J is also an illusionist. So
Yes.
with the costume change, so and the slim fit jacket, by the way, it's all the rage at the moment.
It's just a
so,
shame I don't have the
yes.
slim to go with the fit.
Well, that's on you, I'm afraid. You know, Mirrabooka, they do good work. So keep knocking the
Just
runs.
don't breathe, I've been told.
Yeah, just don't breathe. Hastily, fleetly go back to what I'm actually here for. It's showbiz today. Australia's own Margot Robbie knocking some runs of herself off the board in the US with the film Suicide Squad, which that's the group shot
She's
there.
amazing at the moment.
That's
isn't
her
she?
on the
Everybody
left.
wants her.
Yes, absolutely.
And also for the movies.
Well, yes, absolutely. And Australia's own Jai Courtney on the right there, and behind him Will Smith and other such Hollywood luminaries. Everyone else is so heavily prosthetized, you can't tell who they are. Anyway, Margot Robbie's saying that possibly she might have chosen the wrong career in this particular role. She's embraced it so much that she says, you know, acting's great, but I do so much action in this film, I might have actually been better as a stunt woman. Whether she's actually serious or not, I sincerely doubt it.
Probably wouldn't get paid as much.
Probably wouldn't get paid as much, and she probably wouldn't be sort of co-starring alongside Leo in Scorsese films. But you know, something that there's something there where ridiculously good-looking women who are doing stunts and acting. That's quite a triple
Your
threat.
honest opinion, because you always give your honest opinion. Do
Naturally.
you reckon she's going to be a big star?
Oh, she already is. Yeah, absolutely.
Bigger than what she is?
Well, David Ayer, who's the director on this particular project, has already said she's blown the socks off of everyone on set, just with the commitment to the role and basically no ego. So Donna from Ramsey Street, the innovator of the Shrugalero, she has definitely gone on to do much more in Hollywood. So good for her. Jai Courtney as well is someone to look at this particular film. He plays, wait for it, Captain Boomerang. I kid you not. It is a comic book film, so we'll allow some liberties. But he's actually made this role his own with a very bogan Australian interpretation of the character, which I'm actually looking forward to see. Out in cinemas on August 4th, Suicide Squad. Check it out at your leisure. Next up, now, Peter Garrett, frontman of The Oils.
Midnight Oil, and also former Minister for the Environment.
Yes, absolutely, former minister. Someone who actually put his money where his mouth is and decided to enter politics for whatever reason he felt he should, has gone on to do an album a bit different from The Oils' normal repertoire, some love songs, apparently. And he's using his very close to his heart family roots, his daughters, as backing vocals in some of his main tracks. So this is his new album, a debut solo album called A Version of Now. So it's very, I think, introspective version of Mr. Garrett and his career.
And you got to hand it to him. You know, he's kept his career pretty clean. He hasn't got into trouble.
Yes.
He's a good family man, and I actually I have a lot of respect for him.
I do too. And when I was a very, very young'un back in the US and Midnight Oils were hitting their sort of peak here in Australia, they actually were quite popular in the US, funnily enough. I think mostly due to his dance style and in the very
Do you have a favourite Midnight Oil song?
I
like Beds
Blue
of
Sky
Burning.
Mine.
Oh, okay. Right.
Hands down. I've still listened to that now, and I still think, especially here in Perth with the mining boom, you go back and listen to that and read the lyrics, still apt today. It stands up very, very strong. It's kind of creepy, actually.
Picture Gina Reinhardt singing that in the car. Maybe with her
She
family.
just got money from ABBA on loop, and again, speaking of
or
future
with her
records,
family,
yes.
maybe Beds Are Burning.
Oh, nice, absolutely. So if you want to check out Mr. Garrett's album, A Version of Now, that's out now. He's got his tour kicking off in Perth Art Bar on July 21st.
Look forward
and
to that.
you can go check out his stuff on his website, petergarrett.com.au. Next up, now you, I believe you or the crew have seen this film. Dave and Mike Need to Get a Life or whatever it is.
We saw it the other night at the Greater Union Cinema in Innaloo. I have to tell you, it's one of those movies you go to that, like a Ben Stiller or a Adam Sandler, completely stupid, lack of storyline, but funny. If you're stressed, depressed, or wondering who's going to become the Prime Minister and can't be bothered, go and watch this movie and you'll realise it fits in beautifully.
Yes, so unsurprisingly, they've done this sort of media junket with the release of this film, and Adam and Zach have gotten together and they've done a little skit where they've pretended to be each other when they're
very
answering
funny.
questions. Oh yeah, they're hilarious, and Aubrey Plaza and Anna Kendrick as well. Great cast overall in the film, as Zach pretending to be Adam, they alluded to the size of Adam's Wiener Schnitzel, as it were, and again keeping in theme with the movie, and this apparently was a very
They
newsworthy
play
story.
brothers in the movie, but one's older and one's younger. And,
Yes.
and Zac Efron, I think for comedy, he does really well. The other guy, I've seen him in Modern Family, Pitch Perfect,
Workaholics, yeah.
He's been in so many movies. Great talent.
Like I said, the cast across the board is really, really good, but I can't help but feel the dynamic, especially of those two, was really wasted with this particular film, only because I would love to see like a Night at the Roxbury Zoolander style feel with these two, like gorgeous idiots. And the reason those movies work in the comedy stakes is because they're beautiful, but they're stupid, like they're harmless. Whereas this type of humor is quite abrasive, and it's kind of, I think, and the reviews is getting 42% Rotten Tomatoes at the moment. I think people are saying,
Oh, that's not too good.
well, no, it's 42% generally on anything is very good.
Maybe I have to watch it again.
Yes,
missed
but
something.
basically they're saying, look, we get it, we get the comedy, we get the profanity-laden and diatribes and stuff, but it's getting a bit old.
Maybe it's been done.
It's been more than done. So it's a shame because, again, the strength of the players alone should have been good, but...
There's probably one good thing about this movie. There's no Adam Sandler or Ben Stiller.
That is true, absolutely. But something that has been celebrated on that has stood the test of time is Muriel's Wedding. 22 years on from the initial
Really?
release. Yes, a young man named James Hillier, aka Nordacious, he's releasing I guess an art exhibition of this pop culture icon, and he's basically done his own. That's a version of one of his art pieces he's doing
Is that
there.
supposed to be ABBA? Muriel's Wedding. I was going to say they do look like ABBA. That's supposed to be Tony Collette on
Yes,
the right.
I believe so. So he's released this these work of art, and he's done like basically an exhibition, and he's brought some of the luminaries out. One being Jenny Nivison, who played Deirdre Chambers in the movie, and she's come out and not spread the filth, but she's basically said some interesting things about the movie, or basically working on the on her role in the movie. So she was kind of typecast as like an evil person in the film, and she was actually passed over for a Glad Wrap commercial because people had such negative feelings with her, essentially, so they didn't want to damage the brand. Apparently, Bill Hunter was a bit of a loose unit. That was her words there. Coming off the back of Priscilla, he kind of seemed like he didn't know what he was doing for the most part, which is quite interesting. Toni Collette was a little standoffish, but she feels she was sort of in her zone. And a lot of people didn't think it was a comedy. They thought it was too depressing. She said she went to the British premiere, sat behind Princess Michael of Kent, and said it was funny, but thought it was too sad to be considered a comedy.
Sour grapes by the sounds of it.
Yeah, it's very, very possibly. So yeah, she says she can't believe people are still obsessed with the film. Nordacious, you can see his Instagram at Nordacious, Nordacious, and you can see the merch there if you wanted to buy a piece of the memorabilia at nordacious.com.
Is that it?
That is it.
That is it. We'll look forward to having you back next week with movies.
Absolutely.
You got a big week coming up?
Of course.
Well done. Thank you very much. That is, of course, Cameron Lynch, who does our movies every week. You see him on screen. There you go. That was him. Look at how tight this. Oh my God, it looks so tight. Anyway, something that's not tight is what's between these fantastic movies I saw. They're all coming up. I'm going to talk to Greg Coffey actually, because he's going to tell us about the 18th festival that's running Over the Fence Film Festival. Welcome aboard.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Now, I came and saw the movies and I thought they were fantastic. Tell me a little bit about the festival, how you began it and how it runs.
Well, way back then. We started 20 years ago, right? And before my son was born, he's turned 20 on the 2nd of July. And we created it because I'd made my very first comedy film, right? Prior to that, I was a very serious filmmaker. And I actually used the term here last time I was interviewed. I was a portentous filmmaker.
Portentous?
Yeah, partly important, mostly pretentious.
Okay. So why did we start the Over the Fence? Why did you feel that we need to have this film festival?
Well, originally it was because I wanted to have my film seen, right? It was never selected.
It's like why I started having a TV show. Do your
There
own.
you go.
Very similar.
However,
Richard Joy Forster.
Bill Jean Kane, who was the other guy who started the festival with me, still with us, his film was selected. So what the fuck? Anyway, so we created it simply because we wanted to promote comedy films made in Western Australia. And that worked really, really well for the first 4 years. And then we just started to get inundated by Australian filmmakers.
They're international films as well, aren't they?
That was on a 10th year. We
Okay.
swung across to international because we were just getting filmmakers from around the world going, how do I enter your festival?
So tell me, the movies we saw, how many of them have
14.
There's 14.
Yeah.
Now, what do they win? What does the winner get?
They get a certificate.
So, which
Yeah.
is pretty good, to keep it honest.
Absolutely. And it's all about them going on to the next project.
That's what I
right?
was leading to. What
Yep.
comes after? Because have we announced the winner yet?
No,
No, that's right.
Still voting.
Now, we've got screenings coming up of these
Yep.
movies. I'll tell you where they're going to be, for those people who want to see them. We've just had Esperance today, so don't go and see it today because it's happened. In Perth, it's going to be at the Backlot in Perth. In Denmark, WA. In Exmouth, we're going to have it in Morley, WA. You're also going to have it at Proserpine in Queensland, in Adelaide as well, and in Capella in Queensland. So you've got many screens.
And one more.
One more?
Birmingham in the UK.
In the UK as well?
Yeah, we've been invited back.
So if people want to go and watch these movies, do they just buy their tickets? Do they go online? I'm assuming we can go to your website, which is the Over the Fence.
Correct.
.com.au, which is on screen right now. What do you want the public to do? How can we support you?
Hey, there's a number of ways you can support us. Come and see the festival. That's A. B, if you want to donate, you can donate online. That always helps the festival because we just don't get any. We no longer get funded by state and federal governments.
Yeah,
right?
and I have to tell you, Greg, and I know you don't like blowing your own trumpet, but we came and watched, and I was one of the judges that saw the movies. And you know how you go to these festivals and you think, oh yeah, they're only young people, amateurs. I was actually amazed. The movies were really good. I got them. And they weren't all black like they have been in the past with university students. They tend to make a lot of negative movies. I think there was a couple that had death in them, but the rest were quite funny and quite talented.
Yes.
Do any of the movies stand out for you?
In this year's collection? Look, there's just too
Something
many.
that you really want people to watch, or you just say watch
Yeah.
the lot, the whole 14?
Well, you've got to watch them. Here's one thing I have learned, that what I think is funny is not necessarily what an audience thinks is funny. And that has just proven to me over and over again. But what I do like this year is I love Till Jail Do Us Part.
Is this the one about the priest and the two people getting
That's the
married
one.
and the pizza boy? And there's a lot more happening for those people who haven't.
It's just wicked. There's a point at which time disappears.
It's funny. Yeah, I agree with you.
And you just go, and you're stuck with it. You're
Greg,
captured.
there's these screenings. What happens after the screenings? Do
People vote for
people
their
vote
most
for the
popular
most
film.
popular film?
Yep.
And then they're awarded. And when do you start all over again for next year?
We've already started. So we have our call for entries out for the 19th edition, and we'll be opening in 2017 with the 19th edition.
You are doing an amazing job. Give us the website again if people want to go on board and have a look at all the screening dates.
Overthefence.com.au.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you very much for coming in today,
Hey,
Greg.
thank you,
It's
buddy.
always a pleasure to support local talent like this man here. He's been doing it for a very long time, still looks young. 20 years.
20 years.
Are you making another film?
Yes.
Do you need a lead actor?
Well, it's a sci-fi, dude, but I do like the green.
Well, I like it too, but when it's so tight, it's here that goes green after a while. We've got more coming up after the break if I survive wearing this jacket in the break. Thanks to Greg, thanks to Cameron, thanks to you for watching. We'll be back only on Foxtel right after this. Welcome back to the couch here on Foxtel. Always nice to have your company on this Sunday night. I hope you're enjoying the show. We're going to be talking about Dry July. We've got the co-founder and CEO on the phone. His name is Brett McDonald. But before we talk to him, have a look at this.
Like my heart, my shop is empty. Like my wife, you've up and left me. I'll keep your kebab warm till your return in August. It's dry July.
That is the fantastic promo for Dry July that's happening all this month. On the phone, we've got the co-founder and CEO of Dry July, Brett McDonald from Sydney. Welcome to the couch.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for being part of the show today. Tell me a little bit about Dry July. What's it all about? How does it work?
Yeah, so Dry July challenges people to go booze-free for the month of July, all to raise funds to benefit the lives of people affected by cancer. So it's all driven out of the website at dryjuly.com, and that's where people can sign up for free and make donations.
Now, how did it start? How did you get the idea to start this fantastic cause?
Yeah, it actually started between myself and a couple of mates in the pub, of all places. Kind of came to the conclusion we were probably drinking a bit too much. And so set ourselves this crazy challenge to see which one of us could last the longest without a beer. And it was going to start on the 1st July. And actually it got called our Dry July. And there just never seemed to be a good enough excuse for other friends as to why we weren't drinking, and all this pressure about trying to buy us a beer. And coupled that with the fact that we all had really close connections with cancer, that we said, well, this is such a challenge and a social challenge. What if we did, turn this into a fundraiser and see how far we could take it? And that was really the humble beginnings.
Fantastic idea. Now, why should drinkers get involved? Because I'm sure they'll be saying, why should we get involved?
Yeah, so we actually see Dry July as a win-win fundraising campaign. Not only will you benefit yourself from health benefits by not actually drinking for the month, but you're also fundraising for people affected by cancer, and we're raising funds for local cancer services and on-the-ground support to make a real tangible difference for patients going through the toughest time of their lives.
Great. Now, how can people take part, Brett, if they want to get involved?
So just head to the website at dryjuly.com. That's where you can sign up. It's still not too late to get involved. There's 2 weeks left of the challenge, so please do jump on board. You can also make a donation there. It's really quick and simple. You can do it by your mobile phone as well. So please do head online and check us out.
Now, Brett, how many years has the actual cause been running, the event?
Yeah, so this is actually our 9th fundraising year, and to date we've been able to raise over $24 million for the 45 different cancer services we're supporting right across the country. And we've actually seen over 100,000 people sign up to the challenge in those 9 years and give their livers a rest and make themselves feel healthier.
Fantastic. And where do the funds go? Where do you spend the money?
Yeah, so we're really focused on benefiting people's lives that are actually going through this tough journey of cancer. So we're out there to fund new chemo chairs, we're upgrading waiting areas in cancer centres, we're fitting out accommodation centres, so putting in new kitchens and toilets. We're also funding vehicles for patient transportation. We've identified that people have to travel large distances to receive their treatment, and it's really inconvenient and adds a lot of stress and anxiety whilst they're going through this treatment. And so we're there to help out with those items, right down to iPads that have Skype and video things on them that they can keep in touch with their loved ones, that are great distances away.
Now, Brett, are you going to be running away from this event, or are you going to be taking part yourself?
Hey, look, I do it every year. Put my hand up for it. I have to practice what I preach, but I do have to admit it never gets any easier.
What are some of the tips that you can give our people taking part?
Yeah, so we do say get a mate involved, sign up a team, get your workmates involved or some family members. But also, be a designated driver one Saturday night in a month. Make sure your mates are shouting your donations for their drive, and but also make sure your mates having a good time and get them home safely. Also, really focus on the cause. It's such an important cause, and in theory, giving up alcohol for a month is nothing compared to going through cancer. So we know going through is tough, but just remember what you're doing it for.
And what's the best part about being part of this fantastic fundraiser?
So obviously raising funds is the real sense of achievement that comes through. That's one of the biggest identifiers that people let us know about. Not only have they done something really great for themselves, and that they're sleeping better, some people have lost a bit of weight and they've been hangover-free and got all this clarity. So they've been more productive throughout the month, but also, knowing that they've raised funds for their local cancer centre and that the money they've raised is going right in there to make a big difference. Just that sense of achievement is overwhelming.
Now, Brett, how long does the event run for? Are you going to run it after July? Is it going to end at the end of July?
So I guess the official challenge really does finish on Sunday the 31st, but we know that people have started late, and we keep the website open right throughout August and September, so definitely it's not too late to jump on board and raise some funds.
And if people don't want to sign up or have already had a drink, what have you got for them? What can they do?
We've got the golden ticket for those people. So just so that there's no excuse not to do Dry July. But we know it's end of financial year and there's work functions. Everybody seems to have a birthday in July. So the golden ticket just covers you for the cost of a donation, and it allow you to have that night off the challenge.
So there's many ways, and it is a national event. That's the main thing we wanted to push out there. It's for everybody in Australia that's watching this segment today. They can all take part?
Absolutely, yeah. We've got 45 different cancer services on board right across the country. And, it's free to get involved. It'll take less than a minute to sign up. And, we've got so much information on the website, well-being, we've got recipes, drink alternatives, lots of different social ideas. So head online and also, check out the funds in action and some of the projects that we've supported.
Brett, do you reckon, I reckon you've got this fantastic event that can be changed every year. Next year we can tackle people smoking, give up smoking. The year after I'll take part, we can give up eating. And I reckon there's plenty of money to be made. dryjuly.com is the website. Brett McDonald, good luck with the event. Thank you for taking part today with us on the show. And we wish you all the best in the future as well.
Thanks so much for your support. Cheers,
Have a
guys.
wonderful day. Thank you. A fantastic cause. Please support that and we'll tell you more about the other things that they do and how they go as well. Somebody else that's come in today is our very own Brendan Murdson. He's back to Talk TV. Welcome back.
Hi, Fred. Thank you.
Have you been busy this last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I was looking for a few things to talk to you about.
Well, it's been boring. It's been elections. I have to say, the elections. The guy Malcolm Turnbull, the actor.
I didn't want to mention that, yeah.
Oh, so boring. Anyway, what have you got for us? Something more interesting?
The Voice is finishing soon, so we'll have a reality singing show for you to watch. I don't know if you like them.
The reality?
The X Factor? Do you like the X Factor?
Do you know what? I'm over the X Factor, I'm over The Voice, and I'm over Australia's Got No Talent. All those sort of shows. I think people just want to break from those shows. But you know what? Nine will tell you they rate out of.
You're not getting a break.
No,
you're not allowed
I know.
a break. So the X Factor is going to come back for its 8th season.
Is that the one on 7?
Yeah, on Channel 7. It's going to start in October for a shortened season than usual. Usually it's on for about 4 months. This time it's only going to be maybe 2 months.
And this is the one with Danny Minogue.
Yeah, but Danny's gone.
Oh, thank
Danny
God.
and Chris Isaac and James Blunt Redford, they're all gone. They've got Guy Sebastian's coming back, so he's there again. But
Bill Shorten.
No politicians, no politicians. Iggy Azalea is going to be on there, and so is Adam Lambert as well.
Who's Iggy Azalea? No, look, I don't follow the craze and the.
She's a rapper, so she's a rapper. She's Australian, but she's been living in America.
And
for
what
like
does she
10
sing?
years.
Does she sing something I recognise?
Fancy. Her new song Team was pretty
Oh, there
good.
she is. There. Oh,
Yeah, that's her with Adam Lambert and Guy Sebastian.
Okay,
so
she's obviously very popular.
Yeah, so only 3 judges this year.
Good.
And they're cutting a category as well. So
Do you like these sort of shows?
I think the X Factor's good because there's variety in it. Like, it's not like The Voice, where it's just about The Voice, which it isn't about The Voice anyway. It's about the.
How good would The Voice be if just with every act you just don't turn around?
It'll be called No Voice.
How good would that be? After 2 weeks, the series is done. Channel 9 saves a lot of money and heaps of viewers and cheap. You just don't turn around. That could be the new craze.
Yeah, well, the X Factor will be on in October, so yeah, I'm sure you won't be watching.
And then Channel 10 can bring back, maybe Big Brother could come back and just have no housemates.
all over again.
I don't know, just an idea. I bet someone will steal it. Channel 7 will probably steal my idea now that they've heard it.
Okay, copyright that quick.
Yep.
Go on Shark Tank with your idea.
Yes,
Patent
well,
that
you know
idea.
what? Shark Tank is a show I absolutely love, but I've started to realise that you've got 4 billionaires that just milk these poor people with great ideas and take their businesses off them. So what a great idea. You get the businesses for 100 grand, take it over, make millions, and you've got about 50 businesses by the end of the year that make money. Have you
Very
seen,
sneaky plan.
talking about Shark Tank, did you see the lady who's renting out ball outfits? Young girl, 21 years old. She's now renting out outfits to people, like dresses and stuff, 20% of what they're worth. She sends them out to you anywhere in Australia, and she gives you a little pack and you can send it back when you finish wearing it. So
That's a good idea because it's a
what a
waste of money
wonderful idea.
having a ball outfit. for
Look
one.
her up. She was on WA Today.
Okay. Cool. Well, one other
Anyway.
thing I was doing this week was catching up on Game of Thrones because it's been on for about half a decade, but
Very
I never watched it. So one of my friends at work actually convinced me to watch it. So
Do you like it?
yeah, well, it's kind of like a soap opera. It's like a soap opera with better budget and better storylines, and
There it is
better-
on screen. A lot of
better
sex,
script.
I believe.
Yeah, there's a lot of A lot of
Tony's
stuff.
telling me
yeah.
5 times the sex of any other TV show.
Well, so I've been catching up. Season 6 finale just aired last month, and the season 7 episode was due to debut in April next year, but it's now been delayed because of the filming conditions.
Okay.
They need winter filming conditions, so it's now going to be delayed till later in 2017.
It's interesting. When I watched, I turned it on. It was on Foxtel, and there was a guy that was his sister. They were having a lovely conversation. Next thing, they're having sex. So it's a completely different thing than I thought. Family is a lot closer in this show.
I think that's like allowed in that show. I think it's
Yeah, they're not really brothers and sisters, kids. If you're watching, it's not a good thing.
So there's only going to be 15 episodes apparently to come. So it's coming.
Is that it?
coming
So you're
to
going to
the end,
watch the whole lot, are you?
Yeah, well, there's only 10 episodes a season, so I can, I
So
can fit that
if
in.
you had to give someone out there on camera 3, why would they watch this thing? What would the number one reason to watch Game of Thrones?
The number one reason, it's
Better than X
it's
Factor?
an entertaining show. Like you follow on the storyline, so it's not episodic. So it's continual, like a soap opera. So you get really invested in the characters. So
Okay.
thanks for forcing me to watch it, Blake. So
Thank
that's my friend who forced me to watch it because I actually do like it.
Yep, good.
So the last thing I was going to let you know about is the Logies. I know you were talking about the Logies last few weeks ago.
Yeah, look, my opinion of the Logies, I remember when you're younger than me, and I've watched maybe 20 more years of it than you have, and I think they used to be better 20 years ago. We used to know the TV shows, we knew the people on them, and they were the same people that we learnt to love and appreciate. Now you watch the Logies, and it's all people that have just maybe washed a plate in Home and Away, and all of a sudden, and the gold Logie goes to Maggie Smith. Don't worry about knowing her because you'll never see her again. It's like,
Well, not even Home and Away. Washed a plate in My Kitchen Rules or something. Like, that's about it really now.
Yeah, exactly. Like I look at things like Neighbours, right? 31 years on Australian television, right? They've got an amazing cast. They've got people who all were from Prisoner in the old days. They've all recycled them all. It goes out to about 100 countries around the world, yet they don't win Logies anymore. Yet it's making millions more than Home and Away, yet nobody cares. In my day, it was all about ratings, and if you didn't rate, people would be axed.
Now it's all about what's on TV Week.
Correct.
Who does the Logies, but
And it's what's popular on social media, and social media has a big role to play, obviously, now.
yeah. But the TV Week are actually really happy because the Logies, I was reading, actually earned them $41 million in advertising,
That's
just
not a
print
bit of spare
advertising
money.
for this year. So that's really good.
And you know who owns the Logies, don't you?
Yeah. So it's Bauer Media who owns
Yeah.
TV Week. Yeah.
And who owns TV Week? The Nine Network.
Yeah.
And you heard about that big argument last time that the Logies, the 7 boycotted the Logies because of something.
Because
right?
Sunrise weren't allowed to present
Present
the next morning. Yeah.
And you think, what a stupid reason not to turn up. But I mean, most of the Channel 7 shows that won were there, which was quite fortunate for them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Logies go for too long.
Yep.
I think they should do like a half an hour Logies and just
Half
edit
an hour.
it.
Snap
an hour.
Logies.
Half an hour and put it on the net. Don't even bother showing it on TV anymore.
Yeah, well, the organisers are saying that they want to have a shorter Logies because this year the gold wasn't even announced until 11:45. So they wanted to have the ceremony finished by 11 o'clock.
And we've got to bring back Bert Newton before he goes to another place. I think
Another network
well, you could call God another network
before he
if you
goes
want.
back to Channel 7.
No, but do you know what it is? I think Bert Newton is a legend. I would love to see him end his career on television doing the Logies, what we all remember him as. He's still a funny man. Maybe Paddy can push him from behind and make sure he stands and doesn't
So you could
fall
give out
over.
the statues. You know, it could be like
Hall
the
of
70s
Fame.
all over again.
They're going to change the Hall of Fame as well. They're going to do a lot of new things next year.
Yeah, they're saying
gonna
that
shorten the
they're
brief.
saying that they want to have the Hall of Fame as a standalone ceremony and also have the sports and the news and current affairs maybe cut or so.
They could maybe drop the Logies from... How many Logies did you say they give out? Did you say 50 Logies or something?
Oh, I
30
don't know.
Logies?
They do a lot before.
Why
as
not
well.
just drop it down to 2 Logies? Half an hour segment. Easy.
They should do the best and the worst on TV.
And don't you love how all the TV channels that win already have the promotions ready 5 seconds after they win? Congratulations to Shark
Well, that's why I
Tank.
don't think they should do it on Channel 9 every year. Every network should get a turn.
It used to be alternated. It used to be
Yeah.
7, used to take a turn, 9, used to take, and then 10. And it never was owned. 9 didn't own the TV Week in those days. Now they do, and they command that authority.
Yeah.
So, yep, Carl Stefanovic maybe host it next year. Tony's telling me to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No, but if anyone wants to send any ideas about the Logies, then that would be
I'd love to hear from them.
a good idea, yeah.
Send it to thecouch@wescotv.com.au. Thank you very much, Brendan.
Thank
As
you.
always, a pleasure
Thanks
to
for
have
having
you
me.
here. I know you've got to go to bed because you've got to wake up early in the morning.
Yeah. Very
That's
early.
Brendan Murdson, Talking TV, who'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. Stay tuned. We've got another fantastic guest coming up right after this. Welcome back to The Couch here on Foxtel Aurora Channel. It gives me great pleasure to introduce my guest that's sitting right next to me. His name is Chris Ilsley. You'll know him from the Perth Tonight program on 882 6PR, the number one talk station in Perth, and also the network, which is, of course, Macquarie Radio Network.
Yeah, well, it is now.
Welcome back.
Thanks very much.
Welcome
Fred.
back to the television. I haven't seen you here before, so I hope it is welcome back. Have you done TV before?
Done a couple of little things.
Are there things we can talk about?
Oh, yeah, things.
I was once in a movie. I don't want to hear that sort of thing.
Oh, no. Listen, there is nobody in the world going to pay to see this man naked, trust me.
Well, don't ruin my chances. I'm still available if the price is right. You know, I'll always be right. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you very much, Fred.
Now, you've got a brand new show which is 2 years old, incidentally.
Well, it is 2 years old now, yeah.
Tell me about your takeover of... you used to do the Nightline. Well, Graham Mabry used to do Nightline, and then he disappeared because he retired.
That's correct.
And you took it over.
Yeah, we took it over. It was just one of those things when Graham announced he was going to retire. He'd done the job for 33 years. As far as I know, that was the longest serving time in one shift on the same radio station in a metropolitan market. I don't think anyone's beaten that. Yes, there are people who've gone longer, take Bob Rogers for example, but they haven't been on the same shift on the same radio station.
What's been the change? What's been different since you... Because anyone that takes over, I take over from John Lewis, I do my show different.
Yeah.
What's been the difference with you?
I've just done what I wanted to do. I always said that, and I was never going to be Graham Mabry Light, for example. And that's what I did. I decided what we thought were the right things to do, what things I wanted to keep, what things I wanted to change, how I wanted to do things. Because you can only be yourself. For better or worse in anything you do, you can only be yourself.
Well, talk about yourself. Where did you start? Because I know you've had a huge career in radio.
Oh, my first job was at 6VA in Albany. Which is
and was that as a disc jockey?
Yes. Yeah, and it was great fun. You know.
Do you remember your call? How you used to... Did you put your hand over your ear and sort of go, "Good morning, ladies and gentlemen"?
No, actually, for the time... When we first went there, I couldn't believe it. Albany was really well equipped. There were some aspects of it that were a little bit old-fashioned, and I won't sort of go into that, but basically the ghost of managers past was still haunting the place. But technically, it was absolutely brilliant. I mean, there were lots of stuff, little things you could play with. It had a 10-band graphic equaliser on the microphone. Well, when you're talking about a 20-year-old kid, how exciting was that?
Do you remember the record players we used to use in the old studios?
Yep.
Did you used to do all that, or did you have carts?
No, we had records and carts. Carts played the ads.
Do you miss them?
Oh, sometimes I do, because it was fun. I don't miss the fact that you go into the toilet and suddenly you'd hear this record going doop, doop, doop. And there are certain times when you can't, how could I put it, speed up the process. And you can hear this record going doop, doop.
And you're stuck.
Doop. Yes. Yeah. Indeed.
Doesn't that give you the proverbials?
It does.
Now...
Well, actually, it didn't on that occasion, which was a problem.
Could have made the process a lot easier. Did you always want to do talk, or were you always a music guy?
No, I'd always done music. In fact, I hadn't really, apart from the odd time, I hadn't really had much to do with talk, and I fell into it quite by accident.
When you were at school, did you say, "I'm going to do radio," or did you want to do something else?
That I did want to do. Yeah, I always wanted to do radio, and I was always drawn to that, and so I set about doing that.
Because I have to say, I've known you for many years now at 6PR. When I fill in, I come in and you're there. The thing that strikes me very natural about you, you're who you say you are that person. You're not... I remember when I was working at other community stations and you'd meet these young announcers and they'd come in and they'd say, "Oh, g'day Fred," and you'd be laughing and having a good talk. And then as soon as the microphone comes on, they're like, "Hi Fred, thank you for having you in the studio." You know, the whole... And people meet us and they say, "Oh, your voice is exactly the same as on the air." And I'm like, it's different when you do talk, isn't it? Because you can't really put on a voice.
Well, why would you? It's too much like hard work.
I agree with you.
I mean, no, seriously, think about it. And if you think,
did you ever
"Yes, I'm really happy
voices?
to be talking to you, Fred, and you can hear by my voice I'm a radio announcer," you think, what?
Yes, exactly. I agree with you. You're very natural. What are the things that make you tick on radio? What do you love? What are you passionate about that you can talk about on Perth Tonight?
Oh, I can talk about anything. And look, to be honest, that's probably an advantage. I've always said to people, and if you had somebody and they said, "Oh, I'd like to do that," what would I say the number one thing is? The number one thing is to be able to engage anyone on their subject and to do it in such a way that you don't sound like an idiot.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So what are the ingredients of your show? Because I noticed that they change every night, which is wonderful. You've got a set routine that you have every week, set guests, but you also have things that come up.
Yeah,
anything
just
topical?
as they come up, whatever tickles your fancy. I know that you've got something coming up about Diabetes Week. I can assure you that's going to make an appearance on our program as well. These things, of course, lots of people, as you well know, they promote stuff.
Yep.
And they say, this is what we've got coming up, would you like to talk to us? And so you have a choice and you look at something and think, how's this relevant to the people that we wish to speak to? It's not
And
that
you've
hard,
had a few
really.
scoops, can I say? You've had some amazing talent for the network or for the station as well, where you've interviewed guests that you were able to get on your show in Perth Tonight because people are listening in, or you've been able to source them.
Yeah, and we've had that, and people have said, I can get someone for you. Yeah, okay. Do it.
Fantastic.
See, one of the things, if somebody says I can get someone for you, I'm never afraid to say go right ahead and do it.
Yep. And you still play a lot of music, because I know I listen to your quiz every so often with the man that runs Friends Restaurant.
Oh, Clyde Bevan.
That's a fantastic
He's the
competition.
one who puts that quiz together. I don't know what he's going to do until he walks in with it. And that's what makes it fun, because I'm actually learning. He'll put down a sheet of paper and say, this is what we're going to do. Here's the CD, because he records the bits of music, and he's got all the questions. Which a lot of people would say is really strange. You say, hang on a second, you're letting a lay person dictate your show. But it works.
I agree.
And it works because he's got a passion for music. He used to run a nightclub. There isn't a piece of music that Clyde doesn't know about. And so it works.
And what night is he on?
Friday nights.
Friday night. Now, the show is Monday to Friday between what times?
8 and midnight.
And you've got the
Except when the
wonderful
football's on.
Candice Barnes as your producer.
Yeah.
She puts the show together behind the scenes.
Throws the ideas up in the air. We throw the ideas and say, yeah, we'll do this, yeah, we'll do that. The thing about Candice is I say, I want a one-legged Chinese washerwoman who plays bowls at precisely 4:03
And she rings me
every
up.
Monday afternoon, rotating from bowling clubs north to south to speak to.
Yep.
And 10 minutes later, I'll get a message back, oh, we've got her. We're talking to her tonight.
Do you know what? The ingredients of a great show is having a fantastic team behind you. You have a great team in Candice and yourself, and you've got 6PR generally.
Actually, if you wanted to find Osama bin Laden, Candice would probably do it.
Why do I believe you, actually? Can I just ask you quickly before we wrap up the interview?
Tell
I
you,
know
there's
the
someone
1
else who
minute.
comes
Yep.
up with a lot of ideas for me.
Who's that?
My wife Bernadette. She'll throw something up and say, I've left a couple of things on the computer, you need to have a look at them. And it's interesting because in a lot of ways I'm a very blokey bloke, and so I realised that and I've thought, it'd be really easy for me to turn it into Bloke's World. So
Really?
yeah, so the
I've
input
seen
I
Bloke's
get
World.
so the input I get from females is always appreciated because it stops me being so blokey.
You know what we learn
and,
from
and
other people?
Bernadette's great for doing that as well. And I think it's one of the things that's really you were talking about what's really important in talk. One of the things is to be able to take an interest in and talk about subjects in which A, you may not necessarily have a personal interest, but B, you don't know much about. And that's a great challenge. I'd do that with any student. If they said, I want to do this, the first thing I'd do is say, okay, you've got one question on a topic about which you know nothing. You've got that one question to ask. That one question is going to get one answer from which, if you're thinking about it, you could possibly ask 5, maybe 6 different questions, but you decide which way you want to go.
And I love the fact that you're always learning, and I love the fact that if you're wrong, you say you're wrong, but you're generally never wrong, can I say?
No.
So you're going to be pretty
Trust
good
me.
to slip this guy up. He's pretty good. He knows you know your stuff. You've been around a long time. Can I just say congratulations on your show? You're doing really, really well.
Thank you
People
very much for
love
that.
the change. It's always hard to change a routine.
Especially after 33 years. I mean, Graham was there for 33 years. People knew him very well. Graham was the consummate professional. And by the very nature of what he did, he was also... Graham and I were very good friends, but Graham and I are also different people.
Let's hope you don't start playing that song, because I've had a lot of emails to me saying, can you please play One Day at a Time? And I've said, no, we no longer have it in the library, so please stick to that line. Can I just say, Chris, just to wrap it up very quickly, 6pr.com.au, people can listen in live anywhere in the world, and they do, but also 882 6PR, 882 AM. What's the phone number they need to call if they want to talk to you tonight?
92211 882.
Don't call tonight because he starts tomorrow night, but get in early. You can ring me and talk to me tonight.
That's right. You're on for, what, a couple of weeks?
Couple of weeks. 92211 882. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fred.
One more quick question, and I know the director's saying to me, oh, you've just gone over by 2 minutes. The worst thing that's ever happened to you in radio to you, or the funniest thing?
The funniest thing that ever happened to me
Sure, you can go home now. We won't be...
How far can we go with language?
Oh, look, as long as you don't say the F word. Or
Oh, no, I won't,
don't call me
won't say that. Somebody said to me, we're off the air. This was another time, another place. And I went, oh, shit, is that useless technician not doing his job again? 2 things. Firstly, A, we weren't off the air. and B, the useless technician was in the control room listening at the time. Needless to say, our relationship went left and pear-shaped from that point on.
I actually had a...
But for the record, I meant it.
And the best thing... the best thing that ever happened to you,
The best thing that ever happened to me?
apart from marrying your beautiful wife,
Are you talking about specifically
in radio?
in radio? Well, the best thing that ever happened to me was getting my first job, which Doug Rutherford gave me in Albany. That was the...
Do you remember how you used to announce it? How you used to say, good
Oh,
morning?
mate, I heard the first tape that got me the job,
Yeah.
which I've got somewhere, but I don't know where it would be now. And I thought, how the hell did he ever employ me?
I reckon we need
He
to
must
bring
have been
you back.
desperate.
I reckon we need to bring you back with memorabilia of the past in radio, because everyone likes to remember the past as well. And I'm sure you've got heaps of funny stories.
Oh, there's a few funny stories, but to be honest with you, Fred, in some cases, we need to wait for some people to die.
You know what I really... Well, you know, I'm waiting for that career opportunity to come up. So we're
The
on the same
reason
wavelength.
being, I do not want to be held legally accountable for what we might say, despite the fact that truth in law is a defence.
And you know, radio announcers have always got a lot to say. So he's a wonderful talent. He's a good friend of mine, 6PR. Perth tonight. This is the guy, the face behind the voice. If you prefer it like that, just hear the voice.
It's always better if I talk like that.
We're always used to not being, but you can see him. 6pr.com.au. We've got a camera on us that Chris moves around so you can't see him. But that's all right. I do the same because I don't like people seeing me on air. We've got cameras in our studio. But this voice, this man, this personality, you've got to listen to him every weeknight between
8 and midnight.
on 882 6PR, the voice of Perth. Thank you for being part of the show today.
Pleasure, Fred.
I'll
Thank
see
you
you
very
back
much.
at the studio.
Certainly will.
And can I just tell you something else that you might want to win? I'm going to go to Singapore, I think, with Chris Ilsley, because we've got a lot of stories to tell about radio. But if you'd like to win 2 tickets flying Scoot to Singapore from anywhere in Australia, simple. There it is. The plane just took off. Get out of here. Send the word Scoot. That's the code word. It's on the screen right now. SCOOT. With your name and address. Name and address. And please, those people who send me 50 of the same name and address, you only need 1 entry, but keep going if you want to do it. It's good luck to you as well. Next week, we've got a fantastic contestant that's coming in. Her name is Ripley Savion, I think her name is. So remember the name? Saviol. Thank you very much. It's on the screen. It helps if I read the screen. There you go. Ripley Saviol from Madeley in WA. She'll be coming in to spin the wheel and hopefully win the 2 tickets. And then the week after that, we've got someone from Melbourne, but you could be the next person thanks to Scoot. So please do that. And just quickly, if I can lift this up without breaking my back, this is going to be on the next wheel as well. $1,500. It's one of those Skywalkers. I'm going to give it to Chris Ilsley because he's going to ride it in the 6PR studio. Good way of a career move for me when I have to replace him. And that's going to be on the wheel. So please stay tuned for that one. But now it's time to talk diabetes, which I know all about because I am a diabetic. But check this out, and then Nisha will have Shell to talk to her next.
280 people develop diabetes every day in Australia. Every dollar helps our researchers find a cure. Regular giving is no ordinary act. It can have extraordinary impact. WA researchers are making incredible breakthroughs. They just need your help to find a cure. Be extraordinary. Give regularly.
Talking to Chris Ilsley, of course. Look forward to catching up with him at 6PR. But now we're talking diabetes, something I know heaps about, but something you don't know enough about. Nisha's here with Shell Westland from Diabetes Research WA. Over to you, Nisha.
Thank you so much, Fred, and welcome back to the couch, Shell. You're the Executive Director of Diabetes Research WA.
That's right, yeah. Thanks very much for having me again.
Pleasure. How are you today?
Good, yeah. Busy,
Wonderful.
Very busy week with National Diabetes Week.
Absolutely. So we're just at the end. We've finished our National Diabetes Week for another year, but it's brought a lot of focus, particularly on a couple of areas. What are they?
It has. We focused on ageing and the confusion last time, but one of the other areas that we sort of don't put a lot of focus on or haven't done is the psychological impact of living with diabetes. You know, we know that from some of the research that we've funded, etc., that it's very challenging. You know, diabetes affects every part of our life. So, you know, it's harder for younger people and older people. So, you know, we want people to just start to realise that the more you manage your diabetes, the less that psychological impact as well.
And the research you mentioned is really interesting because we talked about the later end of the life cycle
That's
before.
Right.
What about, I know that PMH here, Princess Margaret Hospital, has a great program, but there was a little bit of a gap after that?
There was, yeah. We discovered that a third of the kids that were going to PMH dropped out of care once they had to leave PMH. So they sort of reached 18 and had to move off. So they were going to another healthcare facility, but a third of those kids were dropping off because they were sort of thrown into the adult environment. So nobody had sort of stopped to sort of think about, you know, how that needed to be, what that needed to be like to encourage them.
All the other mitigating factors of what we want to do when we're that age.
That's
and
right,
whether
yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that can
And the hormones change. So if you are, you know, as you're getting older, the hormones affect blood glucose levels, stress, you know, all those kinds of things. So we needed to put some focus on that, which we had a very successful research project, which was fantastic. We were able to get some kids back in care.
Wonderful. Tell me about how this research project was funded. Was it through a bequest?
Not that particular one. That was from, it was probably from one of our bequests, but this recent focus on the psychological impact came about by, we received this fantastic bequest from a lady called Nancy, and her husband and son had type 1, and they had, she believed, had just burnt out from having to live with diabetes for a long period of time. They had some very terrible complications, and they'd both stopped taking their insulin, and she believed that was what had happened. So, you know, for us it means that, you know, very generous bequest, but it means that we can now carve off some of those funds and then place it into areas where we can sort of try and, you know, understand this particular issue.
So I guess looking at it in context as a whole, it's comorbid, isn't it, with depression, anxiety,
That's right.
especially during that really critical developmental period. That lines up with research into youth risk with suicide between the ages of 10 and 12 is where they're focusing at the moment.
Yeah.
Is that the age range we're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we need to be looking at those particular areas. And we also need to be looking at adults, because I think people often associate type 1 with children, but children grow up into adults and they still have type 1. So I think, you know, we need to make sure that we are placing a focus on the areas, you know, that are in need. Yeah.
Now, as well as obviously the psychological impact, obesity is another key area of focus around diabetes. Talk to me about that.
This is one of my passions. I really believe that obesity needs to be classed as a medical condition, because then we can put the resources into it, you know, so that we
Shell,
can...
if it's all right with you at this point, I might leave now that you're talking about obesity.
Sorry, Fred. No, we want to help everybody. That's the idea. So the thing is, overseas, obesity is classed as a medical condition, but in Australia it isn't, and so therefore we don't have enough resources to help people make different choices or different living environment or whatever. So I think we need to get a conversation happening. We need to think about different ways to help people. You know, it's if we don't, we're just going to continue on with the increase in obesity and type 2.
So what I'm hearing is that education and awareness is the first step and is critical.
Yeah.
Where can people find out more, particularly if they either have diabetes or they think they have it, or they know they need to support someone with diabetes? Where's the best point of, contact, do you think?
We have a lot of links on our website, so they can go to our website, which is diabetesresearchwa.com.au. But I think, people need to be very cognizant of themselves and check in and, how their health is going, and, head to your GP or healthcare provider and things like that. But, until we start to have conversations and engage communities, we're not going to change the future, It's that old saying, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same results, and we're not winning at this particular time. So
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for your passion and proactivity, because talking to Cheryl, she has a real energy in this area, and I think that's what we need to start to be more innovative and starting to challenge government policy in these areas as well.
Right. Yeah.
Always a pleasure chatting with you. The time goes so quickly,
it goes too fast.
but I'm sure that we'll have you on again very
Sure.
soon. That website, one more time for everyone.
diabetesresearchwa.com.au.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much for having me.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Brad.
If you've missed any of that, of course, you can go to thecouch.com.au. Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Back to you, Fred.
Diabetes, it's actually a very serious thing, and we do laugh a bit about myself being obese, obviously not as obese as I used to be because I lost a bit of weight. But thank you very much for coming in. There's a lot to talk about with diabetes, but I think we need to get you back once a month at least, Shell.
Sure,
What do you reckon? Would you mind passing me a lolly while you're there, Shell?
No, I was thinking these should be
Shell,
replaced
that was
with
the
carrots.
test. Well,
and celery.
you could be my advisor because, you know, old habits die hard.
They do.
And this is the thing, people. Cool drinks and lollies, cut them out. That's a good start because I've done it. I only drink the cheap drinks now from Aldi. 79 cents instead of paying $100 for Coke. But get rid of them altogether. Mineral water, a slice of lemon, and put your own little bit of cordial if you like, and that saves you a lot of future risk to your
Even
health.
water just out of the tap.
Well, let's not go too far. Thank you very much. No, she's right. Shell Westland, Diabetes Research WA. Thank you to Nisha. Thank you to Chris Ilsley, 6BR. We'll be back with probably a minute left of the show right after this. Well done, everybody. Welcome back to the couch on Foxtel. That's our floor manager, Tony, lying back as the show's just about finished. I've spoken too much, so we've got to wrap it up. Chelsea J is the name of her CD. There it is on desk right now. She's going to sing a beautiful song, which was a tribute to the beautiful Ian Cameron. Thank you, Australia, for watching episode 562. Thank you to Scoot and Aporto. We'll see you next week.
Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Il a bien on fait. Il a mal, tout ça m'est bien égal. Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. C'est pire, balayer, oublier. Je m'en fous du passé. Avec mes souvenirs, j'ai lu mille feux, mes chagrins, mes plaisirs. Je n'ai plus besoin de balayer mes amours à tes clous trémolos, balayer ou toujours. Je repars à zéro. Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Ni la bien. Car ma vie